approaching the presidential days now is a contingent of veterans under the command of ex-warrant officer class 1, Mensa George, the regional BAG chairman. Shall we give them another round of applause for their service?
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, that was the march past by selected schools within the Koforidua municipality and other parts of the eastern region, some selected groups, and the veterans of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have a music performance by students of New Japan Senior High School and Otibuaten Senior High School. They will be performing Oman Ghana and Oman Beye.
Mr. Frederick Mansour, Mr. Jerry John Morty, and Mr. Ifak Samuel Papi.
Oh,
A round of applause for these students. They have done so well. Students of New Jabin Senior High School and Otibuatin Senior High School. A round of applause. Indeed, Oman Beya Ifiara. Trainers once again were Mr. Emmanuel Ohene Aye, Mr. Robinson Diodu, Mr. Frederick Mansuro, Mr. Jerry John Moke, and Mr. Ifa Samuel Kwabena, under the supervision of Mr. Into Jonathan. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now call on students of Ghana Senior High School to give us a poem titled Yebi Bua Woman. The reciters are Abigail Tima, Beverly and Chua Esiedu, Vicentia Enyunam Kuma, Emanuela Ami Azaglo, and Lois Adeka Asante. Then the poem was written by Mr. Daniel Asari, tree teacher at the Ghana Senior High School. The Beacons from the east of Ghana.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this cultural display is under the theme, Our Democracy, Our Pride.
Dubi akuya wofi menya krobo kwau achim ebuakwa ekwapem New Jabin enum Busugwa, Yilo Krobo, Apamu, Achim Kotoku, Achim Bosome, no one are him for, Ahima, near Poimate Manina, Mawakaba, Mawatinasi, and ne, one may Poimate Ayakrabeshe, yet Dawasi. And I'm say, Diabaku in your pie, no baku for red dry egu. Now one fan who in Pambusianinti. Nananum didn't see it. I hope for my now my papaye, Cocotin, we will Mojani, prefer with the mommy. Eddie kind for Mummo, Mummoni Okupa, send ne, Ghana found dear, Eddie Fisher, yes, yes, or not. Onia, a 2 minute won't so. Say a baby at Wasso. May it be 1 yanopa, Mekobi, 1 quanopa, Okunso, 1 kuno and hogunoso, or bracken what did Adonna, Eddie kind foot or door, be a queer. Ni aho pechi bo asumje seset na lom asumje ebua ba ade pache yi na wo hye amamra pa ma omani impanyin se prayo hwe wi ba ko a ebu okabo ma emu intigana man menya biako na biako ye na eye ye hia asumje wo be biara ni be biara ye yemu ye hia asumje mapa ansa na yato aba abatu brimu ni abatu echi enu na bema omanyi akoso happy de kangena gagano fofui blala mengena o eyatagana duko minamya wodeka ela bena wustele deka owome ni hia wuchi papa le afisi afi pre wusi anu owome mi hia wuchi papa happy adago le kodai prekodago megbe eyako ahe ngoyi yibenami ela bena chichi aombe jochi de wochina happy abupunajo atajunya hello dumebio minami apla uchi papa pataku ajo wodunya hehe be akodada nai edi le uchi papa to he ame ela bena uchi papa he ngoyi yibena nikoto manke hake pemi mirewa mine lore ganama ni hawa bekake hake pemi ni wanyato mi jomi ngale pere na wanope no pemi no wanyato mi jomi ni tela ko wanaposa letoko ni biomio letoko mionte lone mara mano mayano etaka ni koto manke Jemi Tommy, Henry Yamiba, Mano Yemi Hebron Lali, Mapi, Yawa to Jemi Tommy. Honey, what happened? Mano Yemi Brona Tommy. Let's talk about me, let's Jemi Tommy.
Les anciens disent, un train de balai est fragile, mais un tas est difficile d'être cassé.
Donc, les peuples ghanéens, soyons unis. Nous avons besoin de paix partout, en toutes nos activités. La paix, des présidents et des postes d'élection. Ce qui promouvoit ces pays, quand nos dieux disent, quand le feu éteint, les chiens trouvent des repos. Les politiciens, les peuples, courons-nous du soutien des faits. N'utilisons pas les plateformes politiques, mais que le mouvement électoral ne soit que la paix. Faites votre part pour soulager votre pays Ghana. Ghanéens contribuez en quota. Les anciens présidents ont fait leur part. C'est votre tour de travailler. Nana Adou quoi et Koufou Adou. Votre excellence, vous avez massivement travaillé pour ton peuple.
Amanyosem inya wotan. Amanyosem inya wokun. Mama ya kwa asumdua ye wo ihu ban. To abani a wo pe no na enkwen tokwa biara. Ye hia asumdue ni odo efise impenise asumofidua to kramenya dabre amanyofo timemfo omayako asumdue awotire impenye amanyosem na abatu bi aya asumdue
Mama peni na da kwa kukwado Ghana no peni kwa besia be na wonso edo waye dio dobia nana waye bia mama
we are opabene we are osaberema berema pukudrofo ne wo show boy we are of waka beboa Ghana fu yi won fi wona hohie mu ye ma wo ne yo mo ahenewa mo ekuronto Ghana man bekai oda
Ghana man peni na do da kwa kukwado e kwai ma temu de sheko Chesapa, only when the seven woman chatted about Musso. What in day?
What in fear after what Betty Sagana, man penino? A poem man tell Munano Abram Pond to be a co. No, I him. I'm man in Ase. Nami in Stra when you're not second to say. I would ask when this was the way I paid a poem man.
When you recall so, she can't be shower swung.
And it's Abba, Erisiaba, Abudani, near Don Berry Mabena, why you? So be say, oh, who near wire? So be say, oh, can you wire?
Yay, it's a cool for day. Yabeka, Nayaka, Ashra, Masai Ate, Yabebo hero. Ashra, Masai, Mania Otie Ate, Mania Oshisha Ehu, every say, a sentenko, na sentenko, Yadamwase.
And they are the biggest, and they shine wherever they are. A round of applause. And shall we give them a round of applause? Students of Ghana Senior High School. The beacons, they shine everywhere. The trainers were Miss Janet Waira, Miss Letitia Fema, and Mr. Joseph.
Oh, Namilo, Ibidele, oh, Namilo, Ibidele, Ibidele, oh, Namilo, Ibidele, oh, Namilo, Ibidele, oh, Namilo,
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen,
bilao. Ao pinaile wogu bilao. Ao pinaile wogu bilao. Ao pinaile wogu bilao. Ao wogu bilao.
Thank you very much for both groups. Thank you for showing people rights. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the Dipol women. And that was a display of how Dipol rights are performed. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have a cultural performance by the Center for National Culture here in the Eastern region.
Yes, I'm Mamre. Eastern region has 11 primacies, and we represent the primacy and the beautiful, famous flowers in Eastern region. Our fruits, our crops represent our economic empowerment. Our beads and our art represent our identity. Our cocoa represents the economic empowerment as well. Hence, our partnership with Côte d'Ivoire. His Excellency, merci beaucoup. Enjoy our culture diversity.
The Kete dance is a short dance dating back to 1535, performed by the new Dragon people.
focuses heavily on the use of the hands and feet, as well as dance steps in line to the rhythm. And that is the Takai from the Northern Belt. Performed by the Dagomba people in the northern region of Ghana. It is solely performed by men at their annual Damba festival. Climaxing the performance is a variety of fonton music. We have the Achim fonton, the Atopretia from the Bono region, and Naria, a fonton dance from the Ashanti region. The Naria is one of the popular rhythms of fonton in Ghana. Thank you very much. Amamremu Adeshe Agofoma for that spectacular performance. Our democracy, our pride, the two symbols are Funtum Funefu and then Chem Funefu and Matimesie. Funtum Funefu, then Chem Funefu, a symbol of democracy and diversity. Matimesie signifies wisdom, knowledge, and prudence. And that is the formation of the Black Star. A round of applause for Amamremu Adeshe Agofoma. The lead supervisor is Madame Dr. Salamatu Al-Hassan, Head of Performing and Literacy Arts, Emmanuel Nyakun, and the Miniature Construction, George Dakun from Fantiaka North Cultural Office, and Prince Akoto Apietu. The choreographer is Julius Yao Kwanzaa. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, I now hand over to Major Sowate to continue.
Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that wonderful cultural performance will be followed with a gymnastics display by personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School. The introduction of physical training in the Gold Coast, now Ghana, was initiated by the colonial authorities within the military and other security services across West Africa. The first physical training institution was established in Ibadan, Nigeria, as part of the West African Command Training School in 1940. In 1945, this institution was relocated to Ghana and housed at the Signal Regiment Gymnasium at Bema Camp in Accra. Subsequently, the Armed Forces Physical Training Corps was established in 1948, with its headquarters situated at the Elwak Stadium, also in Accra. The Physical Training School underwent redesignation in 1958 and was relocated to its current site at the Military Academy and Training Schools in Teshin, now known as the Training and Doctrine Command, since 1960. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the training displays ahead, let's be mindful that the upcoming stunts and maneuvers are going to be performed by highly trained professionals. We urge all children in attendance to refrain from attempting these stunts themselves. The safety of our young spectators is paramount, and trying to imitate these maneuvers can be extremely dangerous. Equally, we are humbly requesting parents, guardians, and teachers to keep watchful eyes on their children and wards to ensure they do not try any of these stunts. Thank you for your attention, and let's enjoy the performances. Currently, the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School is commanded by Captain Safiano Sulemana, with Captain Isahaku Abu as his second in command. Today's gymnastics display, however, is by Captain Gershon Adase. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Captain Gershon Adanse has just asked for permission from the President to commence with the display. To commence the display for this afternoon, they will be performing a series of groundworks. They'll do the tie support, the dive to prone line, the split to sit, curl to stand, and trankolo. They will also perform the curl to stand and supine line, the forward row and backward row, the bend back lift and head spring, the carry chair for star jump and handstand forward row, the dive and row, the sail over and backward row to handstand, the carry chair for handstand and forearm stand, the handspring, and then a series of head springs, which would then be followed with individual tricks to cap off the groundworks. What they are currently performing is a sail over and backward row to handstand. That was the carry chair for handstand and forearm stand. They are now performing the handspring. They are now performing the series of head springs, which will be followed with some individual tricks. We give them a round of applause for that wonderful performance. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that was the last of the individual tricks. With the groundworks over, it is now time for the horse and vote works. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the physical training instructors will now perform a series of maneuvers generally termed boat skills and horsework. These drills are aimed at enhancing overall strength, hand-eye coordination, agility, flexibility, as well as building confidence. Among the stunts that the physical training instructors will be performing are the dive and roll, true vault, astride vault, bent back lift, and long arm drop. They will also perform the front somersault, hollow back lift, and then the most daring of all, the dive and roll through the loop. These instructors have trained for years to master the stunts they are performing. A high level of synchronization and timing are key in executing them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to cap off this afternoon's performance by personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School will be the dive and rope through the loop. We are once again cautioning our young ones in attendance to refrain from attempting any of these stunts themselves. That was a wonderful display by instructors of the Physical Training School of the Ghana Armed Forces. Shall we give them another round of applause? That wonderful display by instructors of the Physical Training School of the Ghana Armed Forces would be followed with a fast roping display by personnel of the Army Special Operations Brigade in collaboration with the Ghana Air Force. In that vein, we are humbly requesting that all drone pilots should ground their equipment. All drone pilots should ground their equipment. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly witness fast roping from an helicopter by Special Forces personnel from the 64 Infantry Regiment and the 69 Airborne Force of the Army Special Operations Brigade. Also with the team will be a working dog called Brave from the Ghana Military Police. Fast roping is one of several methods employed for the insertion of troops into an area to conduct specialized operations. Currently deploying around the pitch are what is termed the Overwatch, and they are responsible for providing ground protection for the assault elements that will be deployed via fast trooping to the objective area. For the purposes of today's demonstration, the white Toyota pickup parked on the pitch to the left of the presidential dais is the area where the belligerent or terrorist forces are located. Today's demonstration will be conducted in several phases. The initial securing of the area by the ground forces, the insertion of the special forces elements via the helicopter, which is the Mi-17 helicopter of the Ghana Air Force we are seeing right now, and then the main conduct of the assault operation. The final phase will be the extraction of the team and the withdrawal of the ground troops. The scenario for today's demonstration is a capture dead or alive operation and retrieval of possible terrorist attack plans. The demonstration involves a group of suspected terrorists who have infiltrated the country and are planning to attack some key national infrastructure. Currently fast trooping from the Mi-17 helicopter of the Ghana Air Force are members of the assault team for today's demonstration. Fast trooping is a technique used by military forces for quick insertion of troops from helicopters into areas where landing is impractical or too risky. In fast trooping, soldiers descend rapidly from a hovering helicopter, as we just witnessed, using specialized rope systems which are typically made of nylon or similar material. Unlike rappelling, where soldiers control their descent using a harness and friction devices, in fast trooping, soldiers slide down the rope using specialized gloves with a leather or Kevlar palm to minimize friction. Having safely deployed the Special Forces assault team to the objective area, the helicopter has moved out of sight to allow for the team to conduct the operation, after which they will then be extracted. The team, together with the working dog from the Ghana Military Police called Brave, are approaching the objective area where the suspected terrorists are located. All drone operators are once again being cautioned to ground their drones. Drone operators, you are being cautioned to ground your drones. With the assault forces having successfully neutralized the suspected terrorists, the military working dog Brave is now going around to make sure that they do not have any improvised explosive devices on them. Amongst the many responsibilities of working dogs in the military and other security forces services, they are used for the identification of possible improvised explosive devices and other tasks. To all operations, you are please being cautioned that you are not to video today's proceedings. Thank you. Only authorized media personnel are allowed to video. Having successfully conducted the operation, the helicopter is now going to extract the assault elements of the Special Forces personnel, with the Overwatch team still providing all-round protection to them. Military extraction using helicopters is a crucial operation conducted by various armed forces around the world to remove personnel, equipment, or casualties from a location. This method is particularly vital in situations where ground transportation is impractical, too dangerous, or time sensitive. Extraction operations can serve multiple purposes, including the removal of special operations forces after completing a mission, evacuating wounded personnel from a combat zone, retrieving downed aircrew behind enemy lines, or recovering sensitive equipment or assets. While there are different forms of extraction, Today's team is employing rope extraction, and it involves troops harnessing themselves and their equipment to specialized ropes where landing is not feasible. Extraction operations require precise planning, coordination, and communication between ground personnel, air crew, and support elements. Factors such as weather conditions, enemy presence, terrain, and available landing zones must be carefully assessed to ensure the success and safety of the operation. Military personnel involved in extraction operations undergo rigorous training to master the necessary skills and procedures. This includes proficiency in helicopter operations, rope work, medical procedures, and tactical maneuvers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the demonstration we just witnessed today was put together by personnel of the Army Special Operations Brigade in collaboration with personnel of the Ghana Air Force. The crew on the Mi-17 helicopter is captained by Squadron Leader Akwesi Boache, and he is with Wing Commander Benjamin Otre and Squadron Leader Kwabna Anan. The flight engineers on board are Warrant Officer Class 1 Richard Mensah, Flight Sergeant Tebi Kenneth, and Sergeant Omani Ajaif Alfred. Having successfully overseen the conduct of the operation, the Overwatch team has withdrawn safely. Shall we give them another round of applause for that wonderful demonstration? Mr. President, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, with the demonstration and other performances over, the contingent will shortly march on parade for the march past and the equipment display by the various security services.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we want to express appreciation to the 11 paramountcies in the Eastern region, led by Nene Sakite II, Chairman, President of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, for their presence and making this possible. Also to the Eastern Regional Minister, Honorable Seth Kwame Echampong, for a good job done. The Educational Minister, Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, as well as all our service commanders, our teachers who were with us throughout the rehearsal periods. We say thank you to all of you. And a special thank you to our special guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, marching on parade once again are the contingents drawn from the various security services. On parade this morning, are a total of 20 contingents, with 10 male contingents and 10 female contingents from the various security services.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the band to troop. This will then be followed with a march past
by personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, and other security services. The history of military band trooping dates back centuries and is deeply intertwined with military tradition, ceremony, and pageantry. Bands have long played a crucial role in military operations, serving not only as musical ensembles, but also as symbols of discipline, morale, and unity among troops. The tradition of trooping the palace, which involves the ceremonial marching of troops in formation, accompanied by a military band, has its roots in the 17th century. In the 18th and 19th centuries, military bands became more standardized and professionalized, with specialized musicians training to perform intricate musical arrangements. These bands played a crucial role in boosting morale, entertaining troops, and maintaining discipline during long marches and campaigns. The band operates today through by adopting several formations. They will transition from slow march to a static position in the shape of a harp and reform in quick time into the aggressive vocal called Insar. Insar is a type of moving chord renowned for its quality. It is a symbol of excellence, genuineness, and authenticity. After forming the Insar symbol, the band would change from quick to slow time, maintain the same formation, and pay the appropriate compliments upon reaching the presidential days. The band would then transition from slow to quick time after playing the appropriate compliments and then after match. The band has narrated playing a rendition of the popular TV show theme music Game of Thrones.
formation GH67 in commemoration of Ghana's 67th independence anniversary celebration. Shortly, shall we give the band a round of applause for that wonderful performance? The band officers on parade are Flight Lieutenant Nelson Buklu, who is assisted by Assistant Superintendent of Police Francis Nana Kwabi Ofusu. The band masters are Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Boachi Emmanuel Taf, Warrant Officer Class 1 Mensa Bright, Warrant Officer Class 1 Jube Kapui, with Chief Inspector of Police Teju Stephen. The drum majors are Warrant Officer Class 2 Blankson Ebenezer, Staff Sergeant Osei Patrick, Ebo Seaman Class 1 Boachi Isaac, Leading Aircraftsman Yeboah Ayoko, with Chief Inspector of Police Ada Daniel. With the trooping of the band over, the parade commander will shortly invite personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces and other security services on parade to march past in slow and quick time. Simultaneously, the parade adjutant and the parade second in command will interchange their positions on parade. The essence of this interchanging positions on parade is that in the military, the parade adjutant acts as the personal assistant to the commander, while the second in command remains at the rear to administer the rest of the troops.
Hey, we must pass in slow and quick time. Into column of contingent. Hey, the right. Slow. March.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the contingents are now marching in slow time. As we can observe, only the contingents located at the front of the parade are marching in slow time. They will subsequently be joined by the rear contingents to march past in quick time. We are all kindly reminded to rise and pay the appropriate compliments whenever the colors march past our locations. All in uniform are to salute.
Democracy, our pride. We continue to express appreciation to members of the diplomatic corps who've come to Koforidua in their numbers to support as we celebrate our 67th independence anniversary celebrations. To all ministers of state present,
under the command of Captain Jeffrey Osei. The supernumeraries are 2nd Lieutenant David Abuaji and 2nd Lieutenant Al-Hassan Mamani. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Abu Joseph. Directly behind them is the all-female number 2 contingent made up of Army personnel. They are under the command of Captain Victoria Gali. The supernumeraries are Lieutenant Gertrude Jewuda Akon and Lieutenant Hilda Musa. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Ajololu Labless. Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Ajololu Labless. Behind them is the number 3 contingent, the all-male Ghana Navy contingent under the command of Naval Lieutenant Emmanuel Atta. The supernumeraries are Acting Sub-Lieutenant Joseph Malededon and Acting Sub-Lieutenant Albert Asani. The contingent Sergeant Major is Petty Officer Class 2 Mensa New Lab. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all to rise and pay the appropriate compliments as the colors march past our locations. The national color is carried by Flight Lieutenant Randy Seshi Deku. The escort is Flight Sergeant Soa Benjamin. The Ghana Army color is carried by Captain Ebenezer Dampare. And the Navy ensign is Naval Lieutenant John Selom Kwiti. For the Ghana Air Force, we have Flight Lieutenant Meniam Chum Ampedu. The color escorts are Warrant Officer Class 2 Kwoti Benjamin, Staff Sergeant Akanlo Cyprian, Chief Petty Officer Class 2 Hagan Marshall, Petty Officer Class 1 Amu Vincent, Warrant Officer Class 1 Bio Eric, and Sergeant Okanse Julius. Directly behind the color party is the Parade Sergeant Major Senior Warrant Officer Class 2 Kwafo Asari Ajiman. The number 4 all-female Navy contingent is under the command of Naval Lieutenant Faustina Ayona. The supernumeraries are Acting Sub-Lieutenant Patience Owusu Ansan and Elsie Atta. The contingent Sergeant Major is Petty Officer Class 1 Dunu Grace. The number 5 all-male contingent is drawn from the Ghana Air Force, and they are under the command of Flight Lieutenant Bernard Kabuti, with Flying Officer Richard Obensefa and Flying Officer Michael Boatin as the supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Ama Alfred. The number 6 contingent The all-female Ghana Air Force contingent is commanded by Flight Lieutenant Felicia Owusu. The supernumeraries are Flying Officer Esther Frimpong and Flying Officer Eva Kwe. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Kodo Abigail. Behind the contingent is the Priest Second in Command, Lieutenant Colonel Ampedu Banasco.
Red into quick side. Quick march.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the contingents have just transitioned to the march past in quick time. I also wish to remind all once again to pay the appropriate compliments as the colors march past our various locations.
Marching past shortly will once again be the number 1 and number 2 contingents from the Ghana Army, the number 3 contingent from the Ghana Navy, the Color Party, the number 4 contingent also from the Ghana Navy, and the number 5 and number 6 contingents from the Ghana Air Force. The number 7 contingent on parade this afternoon is the all-male Ghana Police contingent. They are under the command of Assistant Superintendent of Police Pimpon Forsen, Assistant Superintendent of Police Vincent Boidi, and Assistant Superintendent of Police Emmanuel Otri are the supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant Bernard Brown. The all-female number 8 contingent from the Ghana Police is commanded by ASP Raji Atulu, with ASP Perpetual Osei and ASP Anna Edu Ansiri as the supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant Juliet Akubwa. The number 9 all-male contingent, also from the Ghana Police, is commanded by ASP Patrick Boateng with ASP Samuel Asante and ASP Emmanuel Ayamba as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Sergeant Francis Woko. The number 10 all-female contingent, the last of the police contingent, is commanded by ASP Amada Akon with ASP Teresa Menu and ASP Benis Yohunu as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Sergeant Kukubo Bridget. The two contingents after the number 10 contingent from the Ghana Police Service are the Ghana Prison Service contingent. The all-male contingent is commanded by DSP Justice Kofi. The supernumeraries are ASP Samuel Edu and ASP James Anetete. The contingent sergeant major is Prison Sergeant Kobe Bennett. The number 12
all-female contingent from the Ghana Prison Service is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Prisons Angela Mensah, with Assistant Superintendent of Prisons Grace Adai and Assistant Superintendent of Prisons Eugenia Dawohoso as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Sergeant Atobra Harriet. Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 1 Theophilus Lawe is commanding the number 13 all-male fire service contingent. The supernumeraries are ADU 2 Bright Yenli and ADU 1 Isaiah Kakari. The contingent sergeant major is ASO Quest Ada Anthony. The fire service female contingent is commanded by ADU 2 Joanna Jelly, with ADU 1 Lydia Dankwa and ADU 2 Josephine Ajekum as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Deputy Group Officer Jim Fippies. The all-male Customs Division contingent is under the command of Revenue Officer Richard Akogo, and the supernumeraries are ARO Timothy Soka and ARO Michael Inkansa. The contingent sergeant major is Junior Revenue Officer Class 2 Bennett Emmanuel. The female contingent, the number 16 contingent, is commanded by ARO Nora Konedu Sapong, with ARO Patricia Moki and ARO Sandra Asabia Nyapong as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Cindy Enema. The next two contingents are provided by the Ghana Immigration Service. The male contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Immigration Mustafa Yaya. The supernumeraries are ASI Emmanuel Ohene Eje Jechi and ASI Asamoah Opuku Menta. The contingent sergeant major is Inspector Samuel Obing Ofe. The female contingent is commanded by DSI Comfort Kofi, and the supernumeraries are DSI Matilda Eureka Kang and ASI Doreen Jechi. The contingent sergeant major is Inspector Benibe Afenyo Deborah. The number 19 and number 20 contingents are from the National Ambulance Service. The male contingent is commanded by Advanced EMT Reginald Frimpong, with Advanced EMT Ejiri Felix as the supernumerary. The contingent sergeant major is Advanced EMT Bani David Selassie. The female contingent is commanded by Senior EMT Ejay Techiwa Beatrice, with Senior EMT Boateng Ajua Jomo and Advanced EMT Fatila Ali as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Advanced EMT Loco Millicent. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now witness the equipment display by the various security services. Leading the equipment display are the quad bikes from the 64 Infantry Regiment of the Army Special Operations Brigade.
The quad bike is an all-terrain vehicle with low pressure tires with handlebars for steering. They are used for reconnaissance and also to access difficult terrain. On each quad bike this afternoon is a sniper. The quad bikes are under the command of Second Lieutenant Dennis Crunchy. Behind the quad bikes is a modified Land Cruiser, and it has mounted on it a heavy anti-aircraft machine gun. Behind the modified Land Cruiser are modified GMC trucks
with Browning heavy machine guns mounted on them. All of the trucks are reinforced with armored plating.
Behind the modified GMC trucks are modified Land Cruiser trucks with PKMS heavy machine guns in tow. The next display is by the 1-5 Armored Brigade with personnel and vehicles drawn from the 153 Armored Regiment. The first troop is made up of the Cobra Electro-Optic Surveillance Systems Armored Personnel Carriers. They are equipped with gunshot detection systems designed to detect, locate, and provide feedback on hostile fire. They are also used to conduct monitoring and surveillance in order to gather accurate and timely information. They are under the command of Captain Atu Pamina Emisa. The vehicles have adopted the diamond formation. Behind them is the second troop made up of Cobra 2 Armored Personnel Carriers. They are used to support assault troops in conducting special operations such as raids. They have adopted the wedge formation and are under the command of Lieutenant Enoch Tichi Amofa. Following the troop closely are the Haki Armored Personnel Carriers. They are under the command of Second Lieutenant Abna Dufie Echampong. Distinguished invited guests, it may interest you to know that the Huskies are being operated by an all-female crew. The Huskies are versatile military vehicles primarily used for route clearing and mine detection operations. The vehicles have adopted the box formation. The next troop is made up of PR6 Armored Personnel Carriers. They are commanded by 2nd Lieutenant Prosper Sefa Kwekuga, with Warrant Officer Class 1 Apo James as the Troop Warrant Officer. They are in the V formation. The V formation is used when the enemy situation is uncertain and the troop leader requires firepower to the front and the flanks. The last troop from the 1-5 Armored Brigade is made up of the Rattle Armored Fighting Vehicles, which are commanded by 2nd Lieutenant Bright Ifa. The Squadron Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 1 Atta Seidu. Following the personnel and equipment from 1-5 Armored Brigade are the personnel and equipment from the 66 Artillery Regiment, which is located at the Volta Barracks in Hull in the Volta region. The first to march past are the Yanan 122mm multiple rocket launcher systems, which have adopted the single file formation. They are under the command of the Battery Commander, Captain Jones Samwakun. The Battery Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 1 Abuga Ibrahim. The next is the 122mm multiple rocket launcher systems, which have adopted the Diamond Formation. They are under the command of Lieutenant Stefan Akamfe Atuima. The Troop Warrant Officer is Warrant Officer Class 1 Mate George. Following them are the 122mm howitzers, which have also adopted the Arrowhead Formation. They are under the command of Lieutenant Maxwell Fusu Ajeman. The Troop Warrant Officer is Warrant Officer Class 1 Saki Ebenezer. Next is the troop of the 107mm multiple rocket launchers. The troop have adopted the Arrowhead Formation and are under the command of 2nd Lieutenant Augustus Afari. The Troop Warrant Officer is Warrant Officer Class 2 Apentin Frank. The last troop from the 66 Artillery Regiment are the 105mm howitzer saluting guns. The troop have also adopted the single file formation and are under the command of Staff Sergeant Abeji Enos. The Troop Warrant Officer is Sergeant Lati Joshua. These saluting guns are the same ones that will be used for the 21 gun salute later today. On display from the Ghana Navy are two of the 4 Ghana Navy fast patrol, interceptor and rescue boats. Ghana Navy boats Yogaga, Ba and Jataba, which are used for anti-piracy, anti-smuggling, diving operations, offshore platform protection, and security and anchorage patrols. They have on board 3 Navy divers each who specialize in assault combat diving, explosive ordnance disposal diving, amongst others. They are commanded by Chief Petty Officer Class 2 Ahoma Okanse Ruben, and his second in command is Petty Officer Class 1 Abdullah Michel. I will now hand over to Assistant Superintendent of Police Richmond Mensah to continue with the commentary.
Thank you very much, Major Andy Sowate. On the part of the Ghana Police Service, through the instrumentality and the initiative of the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, the 67th Independence Day celebration today is live on Ghana Police TV. We are also live on DSTV channel 362. And we are also live on Ghana Police Service Facebook and YouTube as well. This is the Motorbike Patrol Unit of the Ghana Police Service under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Alex Asamoah, and he is supported by Assistant Superintendent of Police Ansong Ayirakwa. This unit, through the initiative of the Inspector General of Police, was established under the National Patrol Department. This was formed to deal with the new trend of crime where criminals use motorbikes to commit all sorts of violent crimes, such as armed robbery, bag snatching, and assault in our communities. Personnel of this unit have undergone series of training, including the use of sidearms to deal with violent crimes within our communities. What we are witnessing this afternoon is for formation by the motorbike patrol unit. The first formation is what we call the wedge formation. It is a tactical crowd control formation used to disperse riotous mob who are about to cause damage to properties. The second group formed what we call the box formation. It's also one of the crowd control tactics used to escort hostile suspects. We have the pyramid formation, which signifies the strength of the police service and the nation at large. And what the motorbike patrol unit are telling us this afternoon is that the police service is well prepared for the upcoming general election. And the last group that we are witnessing has formed what we call the patrol formation. It signifies how the police patrol our streets and also within our communities to deal with criminal activities. That is the motorbike unit of the Ghana Police Service. Following closely after the motorbike is what we call the K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service. The K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service is under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Awuni Joseph Nyaba. Approaching closely to the presidential days is the K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Awuni Joseph Nyaba. He is supported by Inspector Francis Sapon. The K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service was established in June 2019 to offer a specialized resource to the Ghana Police Service through professional utilization of an effective law enforcement tool. The unit is to enhance the Ghana Police Service efforts in crime prevention and detection, criminal apprehension, officer safety, and service to the community as a whole. These handlers with their dogs were trained by the Paramount Specialist K9 Training Academy in South Africa, where they were taken through a lot of courses, including CT Public Spaces Intervention course funded by the European Union with personnel from the Guardia Civil in Spain. Currently, through the support of the Inspector General of Police,
The K9 unit can boast of about 52 dogs. The unit can boast of about 52 dogs. Followed closely after the K9 unit is the formed police unit. The formed police unit, which is under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Jordan Ashite, and he is assisted by Assistant Superintendent of Police Alexander Opare. The formed police unit was established on 29th July 2013 under the then leadership of the former Inspector General of Police, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Al-Hassan. The FPU is under the concept as defined cohesive mobile police unit providing support to the United Nations operations and also ensuring safety and support to UN personnel as well. Some of the vehicles that the FPU this afternoon are displaying are the rapid intervention vehicle, which is used for rescue purposes, attending to incidents, also offering special service rescue to the service. We also have the Guardian, which is used in low intensity conflict. We have the Maverick. We also have the light and heavy water cannons, which is used in crowd control, dispersing crowd, quenching fires as well. They are also notable in public order management. Following closely after the FPU is what we call the Ghana Police Mobile Hospital. Ghana Police Mobile Hospital is under the command of Chief Superintendent Dr. Frank Dodu. He is supported by Chief Inspector Ishmael Agmo and Inspector Ruben Jr. The Mobile Police Hospital generally offers medical support to personnel of the service. It also has a mini theater. It has a surgical suite. It is also used for educational purposes, and it is also used for training purposes. After the mobile hospital, we have the National Counter-Terrorism Department of the Ghana Police Service under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Johnson Edusei, supported by Assistant Superintendent of Police Samuel Abenzio. The National Counter-Terrorism Department plays a key role in providing the needed safety and security at critical infrastructures, high-risk operations, and public space and events across the length and breadth of the country. They perform so many functions, including Eastern Enclave Joint Border Patrols with the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Immigration Service. They also offer public space protection duties to ensure peace, safety, and security. And they also provide security for VVIP, both foreign and local. At this point, I'll hand you over to Major Andy Sowate to continue from here. Thank you.
It is now the turn of the Ghana National Fire Service vehicles. They have a total of 6 firefighting vehicles on display today. These include firefighting tenders, hydraulic platform, which is used in fighting fire on high-rise buildings, and a recovery truck. They are commanded by ADO-1 Nathaniel Ama, and he is assisted by ADO-1 Daniel Nyamadi. The lead vehicle is the hydraulic platform. The platform can be extended to a height of 72 meters and is capable of reaching over 24 floors. It does not carry water, but has an attached pump that can pump water at a rate of 6,000 liters per minute. It is followed by 2 PS manufactured firefighting trucks with water capacities of 13,500 liters. Closely behind them is the Volvo dual purpose tender, also with a water capacity of 13,500 liters. Lastly, we have the recovery truck used for towing and lifting vehicles off the road and in ditches. They have adopted the diamond formation. The Ghana National Ambulance Service are on parade this afternoon with 6 Mercedes-Benz ambulances drawn from various constituencies within the region. They are under the command of PAEMT Owusu Felix, who also doubles as the Deputy Regional Administrator. The first ambulance is commanded by PAEMT Lord Nati. The second vehicle is commanded by Advanced EMT Goda Sam and is driven by EMT Osei Bonsu Isaac. The next ambulance is commanded by PEMT Michael Ofosu and is driven by EMT Joshua Tete. The ambulance following closely is commanded by EMT Eric Opoku and it is driven by EMT Evans Tete Odei. The next ambulance is commanded by Advanced EMT Anturi Ali Matu and is driven by EMT Samuel Sapong. The last vehicle is commanded by Advanced EMT Ajono Jones and driven by SI EMT Adrulu Kennedy.
To grow in the automobile industry. On display, Kantanka, Volkswagen, Nissan, Rana Motors, and many others, bringing glory to our country in the automobile industry. All these cars you're seeing are made in Ghana cars. Courtesy Nana Addo-Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. These are Kia saloon vehicles as well as SUVs by Rana Motors, all assembled in Ghana. These are all initiatives under the One District, One Factory initiative. Nana Addo-Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic. This is unprecedented in the history of our republic, and the people of the Eastern region are very proud of you. Ghana is proud of you. These are Volkswagen vehicles, VW, Nissan SUVs, Nissan Patrols, Hyundai trucks, Nissan Toyota pickups, Zonda trucks, all assembled in the Republic of Ghana, all in the name of this great initiative of One District, One Factory. This is Akufo-Addo's creation. Approaching the presidential days is a Zonda truck, a 22 cubic Zonda truck, all made in Ghana. We also want to acknowledge the President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, and his delegation to Ghana. The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
Also to our proud mothers in the house, the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and the Second Lady, Hajia Samira Bawumia. The Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, Honorable Akosia Frema Osei Opare, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, and her spouse, thank you all for coming.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, shortly we shall see the various contingents forming the message for this year's Independence Anniversary celebration, which is GH, Peaceful Elections, meaning Ghana, Peaceful Elections. This message is from the security services to all Ghanaians.
Raid! Raid! Shit! Shout! Hey! Up! Raid! 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 With much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what we are seeing now is the contingent on parade forming the message, Ghana, Peaceful Elections. And it is a message from the security services to all Ghanaians. If you are fortunate enough to find yourself at an elevated location, you better appreciate the message kindly on display. The various appointments, together with the color party, are now marching back on parade. Once they take up their positions, the parade commander will reform the parade and then they will advance in review order.
Uniform and advance in review order. By the center. Big march.
Shall we please rise for the national salute?
Hey! National salute. Present. Up.
That was the 21-gun salute by personnel of the 66th Artillery Regiment and flypast by the Mi-17 helicopters and K-8 fighter jets of the Ghana Air Force. The pilots on board the K-8 fighter jets are Wing Commander Atu Mills and squadron leaders Benjamin Apau, Reginald Kenny, Ebenezer Frimpong, George Foley, and Prince Chebafo. We may please be seated. They are supported by squadron leaders Rose Amenyoha, Amina Tahiru, Ayeboa Pobrefo, and Flight Lieutenant Holalile and Isaac Antiame, and leading aircraftsmen Opari Kingsley and Asamoah Priscilla, the forward air control team. Conducting aerial patrols is the Z9 of the Ghana Air Force, and it is captained by Squadron Leader Godwin Buta.
Mr. President, may I have your permission to stand the parade at ease for your anniversary address? Mr. President.
The parade commander has just asked for permission to stand the parade at ease for the special guest remarks and the anniversary speech by the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The members of the helicopter crews are Wing Commander Charles Dao and Wing Commander Benjamin Ochre, with squadron leaders Emmanuel Abuaje Menye, Akwesi Boache, Kwabna Anan, Courage Fianco, Ifia Amponsan, and squadron leader Abdul Nasser Salia. The flight engineers are Squadron Leader Maxwell Mensah and Warrant Officer Class 1 Richard Mensah, with Vice Sergeant Wachi Evans, Siriji Karafara, Atiso Charles, Kina Stephen, Ajeman JC, and Sergeant Stevie Kenneth and Omani AJ Alfred. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I respectfully invite the special guest of honor, the President of La Côte d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, to deliver his remarks.
Your Excellency, President Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, First Lady, Vice President and Madam, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, before anything, I'd like to say what a beautiful celebration. Bravo to all the Ghanaian people. President Nana, thank you for inviting me as a guest of honor to celebrate the 67th anniversary of the independence of your great and beautiful country. On this special occasion, very solemn occasion, I bring greetings and congratulations from the people of Côte d'Ivoire, who are your brothers and sisters. I must say that it's a great pleasure for me to be here today with you and the great people of Ghana to experience once more the legendary hospitality of Ghana. Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire are bound not only by geography, but also by history, friendship, and culture. It's a great joy. It's a great joy for me to stand here, my dear friend, my brother Nana, to celebrate Ghana and the citizens of this beautiful and wonderful country who since 1957 have shown the way to independence, dignity, and pride. Congratulations for the parade. It was indeed beautiful and outstanding. Excellency, dear Nana, my dear friend and brother, I'd like to use this opportunity to commend you for the leadership and the many achievements in Ghana, despite the adverse challenges at the global level with COVID, the war on Ukraine, and obviously in Gaza and Palestine. I would like to thank you for your commitment to regional economic integration as shown during your tenure as President of ECOWAS. Yes, you did an exceptional job, an outstanding job, and as the other head of state, no, I did not want you to leave. I thought you should continue for many, many years. I also want to thank Ghana for your contribution to the success of the 34th AFCON, which took place in Côte d'Ivoire from January 13 to February 11 of this year. Yesterday, the match between ASEC Mimosa and Asante Kotoko was another celebration of the friendship and solidarity between Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. But obviously, since Côte d'Ivoire is the champion of AFCON, ASEC was the winner of this championship, but we remain friends. Congratulations to the two teams. Thank you very much again for your invitation, my dear friend. Happy Independence Day to you, to all the people, the brotherly people of Ghana. Thank you again.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have a drum appellation by students of Ghana Senior High School to make way for the anniversary speech by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The appellation is done to usher very important personalities to rise and address their people.
Brave.
no. Akoja my Ghana ambassadors. Now the Ghana cha amansan. Mama Ghana ya kraveshe. Nana, yamau akwa baba epuamantem. Ene, wabawudiem. Yamau akaba. Mau atinasi. Ghana man penyini. Nana ato dankwa ekufu ato. Osi adie yo. Nana ato dankwa ekufu ato nono. Osi awuyo. Osi na wayo. Seye kaini aka. Oka se. Obama Ghana into a sosuku no aye free. Udo Ghana puinti. Okaye. Na wayo. Obidumbie. Ufriye chesadaruma inti. Ghana mo friend na kwa suku free. Efa woni ni a ufri. Ene ni a wowo. Utumi kwa suku wa Ghana panai biara. Ejapa. Onipi ejananato. Mama suku kwa ayefu. Aya akono. Ghana esuku fuma wo amo. Ninase. Machuwale. Ayuwale do. Ape o. Ape now. Oma penyina nato. Yetawase. Miliki se wantu nyando. No feelings amampo. Oma penyina nado. Koma epuemantem atidenne. Ghana infisia edosia inso. Saudi da abashe. Odisieba. Epuemantem nananum abrempondu biako. No ahirfone ahirmani nase. Yamisho. Wa enyanyam shake sise. Akatachie. Aprimpo. Tukia nana. Abudani. Pre asuse wukasa chaumai. Asuna dishi awe titotise obienim. Wadama. Ahubiasiemu. Soye. Nati tutatai. Tutatai. Adeneho. Kasa. 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 Na umama aya suritio. Ugode. Nachimyo. Yetamase.
A round of applause for the students. And the drama was Emmanuel Pachi in Cancer. Narrators were Mary Nyadevo and Dorothy Ousua, all of Ghana Senior High School. Yes, he is the one. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the royals of the son of the Asuna clan of Ghana, the grandson of Achim that drinks from River Brim, the royal son of an Achim man that creates a settlement and develops it from generation to generation. A great warrior that Ghana rests on your shoulders.
You have advertised Ghana to the whole world by making it very attractive. Nana, you have come to your royal home, Eastern region. You are mostly welcome. Yes, that is he. He is the one. Ghana's president, Nana Addo Dankwa Koforidua, the man of wisdom. You promise and you deliver. You promise Ghanaians that you will make all senior high and technical vocational schools in Ghana free. You said it and you have done it. Just for the love you have for the ordinary Ghanaian. Because of your free SHS technical and vocational education, all Ghanaian children attend school free, no matter where you are and where you come from. Good father, Nana Addo, the father of the orphans, you have made going to school very easy and attractive. Ghanaian students salute you. All parents say thank you. It is an uncultivated land that is called deep forest. Your Excellency, the people in the Eastern region are so amazed for you hosting the Independence Day anniversary in the region. The 11 paramounts, their chiefs, and queen mothers in the region are most grateful for this honor. Mr. President, Doku's grandson, Your Excellency, it is time for you to deliver your inspiring message to the people of Ghana. We humbly request that you take your majestical walk to the days and speak. Speak to your people. Thank you.
Eminent clergy, Christian and Muslim, the President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, our special guest, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, First Lady, Vice President and Second Lady, Madam Chief Justice and spouse, the representative of the chairperson and other members of the Council of State, Chief of Staff of the Office of the President, and officials of the Presidency, Eastern Regional Minister, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, leaders of political parties, the Chief of Defense Staff, and Service Chiefs of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Inspector General of Police, heads of other security services, men and women of all the security services, President and members of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, Omahene of the New Drabin traditional area and other traditional rulers, the Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps, students, residents of Koforidua, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow Ghanaians, let me start by welcoming our special guest of honor, the redoubtable president of our western neighbor, the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, to the formal celebrations of the 67th anniversary of Ghana's independence. I thank the children from across the country for their excellent march. I thank the cultural troops from across the country on their magnificent display, which is showcasing some of the best of Ghanaian culture. I thank the officers, men and women of the Ghana Armed Forces, the police service, and the other security services for their display of honor, pomp, and ceremony. And I thank them all for their willingness to put their lives on the line to secure the safety of our nation, the peace of our society, and the sanctity of our property. I'm sure it is not too late to extend warm congratulations to you, Monsieur le Président, and your country on staging a most successful AFCON and the dramatic exploits of your national team that ended in your winning the continental competition and being crowned African football champions. As Sek's victory over Kotoko is in the same direction. Congratulations to you, to Côte d'Ivoire, and to the elephants. As we all can see, this year has begun with the victory of the elephants. I'm afraid that over here in Ghana, this is a competition we much rather not remember or even talk about. But Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire are good neighbors, and we cannot begrudge your excellent performance and learn from the many lessons that AFCON 2023 has to teach. Welcome to Ghana, Monsieur le Président, and thank you very much for honoring our invitation and joining us for our independence anniversary celebrations. Ghana is your home. The relationship between our countries is as it should be, for we share a common boundary, a common history, and a common culture, including common languages, and as we would both say, Akwaba. We're greatly honored by your presence, and we pay homage to your distinguished leadership, preeminent in the annals of contemporary Africa, which has brought your country back from the chaos of a painful civil war and its aftermath, back to the stability and prosperity that have been traditionally associated with Côte d'Ivoire. The strong bonds of friendship and cooperation that have existed during our respective tenures of office are evidenced by two key developments. First is the agreement for strategic partnership that was entered into by President Ouattara and I on 17th October 2017 during my first year at the presidency, which has paid off, especially in the cocoa sector, by enabling our two countries to coordinate our policies over cocoa, of which we are the world's biggest producers, accounting jointly for some 65% of global output. This has been of considerable benefit to our respective farmers, who have received the highest price per bag of cocoa in our respective histories. The other is the mature manner in which the maritime border dispute between our two countries was settled by the Maritime Court in Hamburg. The elevated stance of statesmanship shown by President Ouattara ensured that its result in Ghana's favor was peacefully accommodated by Côte d'Ivoire. Mr. President, we thank you very much. My dear compatriots, fellow Ghanaians, the theme chosen for this year's Independence Day celebrations is our democracy, our pride. And I welcome all of you to Koforidua, the capital of the Eastern region, which is hosting the celebrations this year. The decision to rotate the scene of the national celebrations around the country, instead of staging them only in Accra, the nation's capital, has certainly turned out to be a welcome nation-building exercise that helps us to focus attention on a different region every year, and at the same time rallies the nation together in that region. Our host this year, the Eastern region, was very much at the center of the independence struggle of our country. It is home to 3 members of the Big Six of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC of blessed memory. The acknowledged founders of our nation, Joseph Boachidankwa, Edward Akufo-Addo, and William Uforiata. Their love of politics who seem to have continued into succeeding generations, with the son of one of them being the current president of our country. The other members of the Big Six were Emmanuel Becha-Bilante, Ebenezer Akwaje, and Kwame Nkrumah, who together with George Alfred Parr-Grant, R.S. Blay, Kwabena Kessie, Francis Awona Williams, Nii Kwabena Boni, Boycott Hini, and others, were the successors of the early generation of nationalists, such as the members of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society. Their membership included Jacob Say, George Moore, Joseph Casely Hayford, John Mensah Saba, W.E.G. Kwabena, J.W. DeGraff Johnson, J.P. Brown, and others, who protected our lands from the grasp of the greedy imperialists and who initiated the first phase of our struggle for national independence. On such a day, we must also remember the contribution of Ya Santua, Thomas Hutton Mills, James Kwejie Agre, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, Private Odate Lamte, V.B. Anna, Jimmy Quistas, Mabel Dove, Akwaso Soso, Dede Asikinchan, Komla Adoli Bedema, Kojo Botsio, Kofi Bako, Klobo Eduse, Nancy Tibo, Mumuni Bawumia, S.D. Domo, Kofi Abrefa Busia, Joe Apia, Victor Owusu, R.R. Ramponsan, Bafo Seakoto, Modesto Apalu, S.G. Anto, Yakubu Tali, and Ephraim Amu, to the liberation of our country and to the birth of our democracy. The work of all these great patriots culminated in the immemorial words of our nation's first leader, Kwame Nkrumah, when he stated on the eve of 6th March, 1957, that at long last, the battle has ended. Ghana, your beloved country, is free, free forever. Today, the Eastern region is, of course, not the geographic east of Ghana, but it retains the nomenclature from the colonial days, when it was the eastern border of what was the Gold Coast colony. The region is the most heterogeneous in our country and a microcosm of Ghana, and home to the most diverse of peoples. Over the centuries, the region has attracted citizens from all parts of the country and beyond, who come to work and find a welcome and lasting home. The attraction is obviously the abundant mineral resources and the rich and fertile soils. It is, after all, only a few kilometers from here that the first cocoa farm in the country was planted in 1895, some 129 years ago. And from there, the planting of cocoa spread to other parts of the country and became our leading cash crop. Indeed, Tetakwashi, an indigene of Mamponga Kwapim, here in the Eastern region, brought back in the late 19th century the cocoa pod from Fernando Po, now Bioko in Equatorial Guinea, an act which led him and others to establish our nation's first commercial cocoa farms here in the Eastern region. It is noteworthy that the hills and mountains of the region and the relatively cooler weather made it attractive to the European colonialists and missionaries whose footprints remain around the region. It is not surprising, therefore, that the region is home to many educational institutions, including the first middle school and first training college in the country, both in Akropong. The old and beautiful stone churches along the scenic mountain road of the Akwapim Hills remain an attraction. It must surely be as a result of Akwapim Tree being the first Ghanaian language to have been written that the culture and mannerisms of the people became adopted in the formal recognition and rendition of Ghanaian culture. When we say it is a part of Ghanaian culture to be respectful in conversations, I dare say the source must be the legendary Akwapim insistence that even an insult must be preceded with a please. They remain the repository of the rules of proper behavior. It is here in the eastern region that we find the beautiful and intricate beadworks that are defining features of Ghanaian jewelry. The Krobos are the masters of the ancient art and have modernized it to make beads attractive not only to the old, but also to the present generation as well. The eastern region is also the home of the Kwaus, Ghana's unquestioned leading entrepreneurs, and an example to all of us of what private enterprise can achieve. It is furthermore the home of the Achims, the single biggest ethnic group in the region, who founded one of the most ancient states of Ghana's history, with an unbroken record of chiefly government dating from the 14th century till today. It is home too of the Akwamus, whose renowned military exploits extended to freeing Christiansborg Castle from the control of the Danish. I've mentioned specific groups that make up the eastern region, but as I stated earlier, it is a region where the whole of Ghana merges into a melting pot and lives in harmony, and different groups feed on the strength of each other for the good of the whole. This is the same scenario that is played on the national scene, where different people have come together to form the Ghanaian nation and a national identity for the past 67 years. Fellow Ghanaians, we have good reason to choose as our theme and to celebrate our democracy, our pride, at this 67th anniversary of our independence. We are a democratic nation, and not every country can make such a claim. It is important to note that the democratic system of government we have today was not given to us at independence. More than 100 years of British rule had not prepared us in any way for democracy. There is nothing democratic about colonial rule. And whatever we have today, we have worked out for ourselves. All the defining elements of a democracy that are part of our governance architecture today, we have had to fabricate ourselves. Everything we know about elections today, and we know quite a bit, we have learned through hard practice. And in the past 31 years, we have been stable. We've not got a perfect system, but every time we've had elections during this Fourth Republic, it has been an improvement on the previous occasion. We have still a lot more to learn, especially when it comes to the tolerance of opposing views. But we also know that we dare not relax, as there are many examples of countries that have disintegrated into chaos as a result of disputed elections. We know that technology is a useful tool that we must embrace to make the electoral process more transparent. But we are very much aware that technology also now makes it possible and easier for the deliberate manipulation and propagation of falsehood to influence public opinion. When it comes to free speech and the vigorous media as indicators of a working democracy, I believe we can say we are doing well. There's no danger of dissenting voices not being heard on any subject, even though we have still more work to do on elevating the quality of our public discourse. We take our disputes to the courts for adjudication and resolution, and the judicial system operates within agreed and acceptable rules. When we look around our neighborhood, we might be tempted to think that our work is done. But we Ghanaians have never been known to settle for mediocrity. We aim for the best in every field. We should compare ourselves with the best that there is and not settle for anything less. For as long as there is poverty and injustice anywhere in Ghana, our work is not done. On a day like this, we should pay homage, of course, as I have done to our forebears and the elders who fought for independence and worked through the years to establish all that we have to be proud of today. But our attitude should always be that there are better days ahead and work towards that instead of yearning for some bygone good old days. The greatest challenge remains the provision of good quality education to all of Ghana's children and young people. We have a lot to be proud of, but we have more work to do. I'm happy that through the implementation of the free senior high school policy, we're removing financial barriers to education, unlocking the potential of thousands of young Ghanaians, and laying the foundation for a brighter future for our country. This year, we have seen the highest ever enrollment of first-year students into senior high school in our nation's history. That is the figure of 503,000 students, a clear indication of the widespread embrace of the free senior high school policy. We should be able to offer every Ghanaian child the best education there can be. And having completed high school, our children should be equipped with skills that make them prepared to face the modern world. Our schools must prepare our children to be comfortable with science and technology, engineering and mathematics, and ready to compete in the modern economy. Fellow Ghanaians, there's more to preparing a child to face the world than what can be taught in a classroom. And there's certainly more to molding a Ghanaian child than what our hard-working teachers do every day. Too many parents have relinquished the entire responsibility of bringing up children to what happens in schools. I do not refer only to our music, dance, food, language, and fashion that form the basis of our cultural identity. I refer to the values that set us apart as Ghanaians. If we are to take pride in being Ghanaian, there should be a consensus on the values we hold dear, and we should transmit them to every generation. Fellow Ghanaians, I know that we have gone through difficult economic circumstances, but it is clear that we have overcome the worst, and we are looking forward to better times. I wish to make reference in particular to two projects coming on stream that should make a great difference to the economic fortunes of our country. I refer to the successful selection of strategic partners that will work with the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation, GIADEC, to build a new alumina refinery and develop mines at Nyinihini in Pasaso as 3 or 4 projects being executed under the Integrated Aluminum Industry IAI projects. I witnessed the signing of 2 agreements in Accra recently. Firstly, between GIADEC, a wholly owned public entity, and Rockshaw International, a wholly owned Ghanaian private company. selected after a rigorous process as a strategic partner to develop a mine at Minahini in Pasaso. And secondly, between Giadec and Miscellaneous SA, a leading global industrial and energy company, which entails the development of a second mine at Minahini in Pasaso and the establishment of an aluminum refinery. We are finally coming to the end of decades of exporting raw bauxite from the country. We shall now refine bauxite mined in Ghana to produce alumina that will feed the Valco smelter and the downstream aluminum industry, which is going to have a dramatic impact on Ghanaian industrialization, where we produce parts for motor vehicles, aircrafts, roofing sheets, and household utensils. It has taken a long time for us to get to this stage. We've taken the trouble to make sure that we get it right. As an indigene, it is my hope that once litigation over the Atawa forest range in Chebi is settled, we will be able to develop also the Chebi bauxite mine and refinery that will help deliver employment and high-paying jobs for our people, and also ensure integration value addition across the bauxite aluminum value chain. The other major project that is coming on stream, which is bound to make a dramatic change to the economy, is the Adar Songor Salt Project, being spearheaded by Electrochem Salt Mine Limited, led by the dynamic Ghanaian entrepreneur, Mr. Dan McCaughey, aka McDan. After many years of disputes, which prevented the exploitation of salt at the site, work has finally started, and salt will be mined on a large commercial scale. With its initial ability to produce some 650,000 metric tons of salt per annum, and expanding its productive capacity to 1 million metric tons this year, and to 2 million metric tons by 2027, at 99.9% purity, the Electrical Salt Mine will be the biggest salt-producing facility in the whole of Africa. These are figures that should spell a significant change in the economy and cheer us up. I am optimistic that together with other initiatives of this government, we are on the verge of a breakthrough in our economic fortunes. I must mention another important ingredient in the democratic structure which is needed for prosperity, which is the rule of law. Businesses can only prosper in an atmosphere that guarantees the rule of law. My compatriots, fellow Ghanaians, the rule of law is not an alien concept. It is not something that can be applied selectively. For it to be effective and have a positive influence, it must be applicable to all aspects of our lives and to all of us, on the streets, in offices and workplaces, to junior officials and chief executives, to traditional leaders and members of parliament, to famous artists, sportsmen and footballers, and yes, to the president too. We cannot hope for economic prosperity without adhering to the rule of law. There are few amongst us who equate the freedom that was proclaimed at the arrival of independence with the freedom to ignore the rules and regulations that should guide our lives. Aspirations for prosperity go hand in hand with the discipline necessary for the rule of law. Fellow Ghanaians, on the day we celebrate our nationhood, we cannot and should not leave out a reference to the physical state of the land that constitutes Ghana. We cannot claim to love Ghana when we treat with such disdain and total careless abandon the forests, the rivers, the vegetation, the creatures, and the soils that make up Ghana. The Almighty has been kind and generous to us, and our beautiful land deserves to be treated with tender, loving care. Unless we change how we treat the land, future generations will not recognize the Ghana they read about in the land we bequeath to them. I stay firm in my conviction that extracting the minerals we have been blessed with should not lead to the destruction of the forests and rivers. We should all dedicate ourselves anew to taking care of Ghana. I must at this stage reaffirm government's continued commitment to providing the support for victims of the recent extensive flooding in downstream communities in the Greater Accra, Eastern, and Volta regions, caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam last year, and necessary action which was taken to maintain the dam's structural integrity. As set out in the 2024 budget, government has set aside 220 million cedis, of which 80 million cedis has already been released by the Ministry of Finance to support the ongoing rehabilitation efforts for the affected communities. Government will stop at nothing to restore normalcy to the lives and livelihoods of all affected persons. Fellow Ghanaians, on Friday, 8th March, the 13th African Games will be officially opened in Accra, and we shall be playing host to 53 African nations that will participate in the Games. We've gone to a lot of trouble and expense to be able to stage the Games, and we are expecting them to be successful. I'm looking at our guest of honor, President Alassane Ouattara, and I wonder if I should draw some parallels. He has also just staged the AFCON 2023, which was postponed to 2024, instead of the scheduled 2023. The Games here too should have been held in 2023, but were postponed to 2024. Football attempts to attract more attention, and therefore the AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire dominated the headlines for the 1 month it took place. The Ivorian national team, their elephants, defied all odds and won the competition. I am not promising a Ghana clean sweep of track and field. That would be a miracle. But I'm promising a happy and exciting month for all our visitors. We in Ghana know how to set the lead. We did it in 1957. When we were the first African nation in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence from colonial bondage. We have got other firsts with doubtful boasts, but we have always managed to get out of difficult situations with amazing grace. We owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to be that shining black star. We owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to continue to have a democracy of which we can be proud. And we owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to be a prosperous nation. And we are getting there, and we shall get there. Happy 67th Day Independence Day celebration to all of us. And may God bless all of us in our homeland, Ghana, and make us great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
That was the 67th Independence Anniversary Address by the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Thank you, Mr. President. The Parade Commander will shortly invite the Forces Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel, to lead the contingent to give 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic of Ghana and a powerful yell for Mother Ghana.
Raid! Raid! Shit! Forces Sergeant Major! To the front!
Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel was born to Mr. Ado Kwesi Efriye and Madam Janet Ofosu here in the Eastern region. He attended in Kwanta Secondary School in the Oti region for his O-level certificate. He holds Bachelor of Science and Master of Arts degrees from the University of Professional Studies. Chief Warrant Officer Ado has attended all requisite career courses commensurate with his rank. He also holds a diploma in American language course from the Defense Language Institute in San Antonio, Texas.
The bride will remove headdress. Remove!
Officer, the President, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufu Addo. Chabai! Hey! Chabai! Hey! Cha! Hey! Hey! Asa! Yay! Yay! Asa! Yay! Yay! Ghana, yay! Ghana, yay! Guliwo! Yay! Guliwo! Ose!
Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel is also a graduate of Class 68 of the United States Army Non-Commissioned Leadership Center of Excellence Sergeant Major's course, where he was inducted into the International Students Hall of Fame.
Mr. President, may I have your permission to follow, Mr. President? Yes, Mr. President.
He has been awarded with Long Service and Good Conduct Medal and several peacekeeping medals for his service in Sierra Leone, Lebanon, Liberia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. He is married to Senior Chief Officer Joyce Addo of the Ghana Prison Service, and they have been blessed with 3 daughters, Gifty, Grace, and Gloria. The parade commander will now ask permission to march off the colors and the rest of the parade.
Parade! Shout! Hey! Mr. President, break over. May I have your permission to march off the colors and the remainder of the parade, Mr. President.
May I respectfully remind us all to pay the appropriate compliment as the colors march off. All in uniform are reminded to salute.
So, march off the colors. Parade! Present! Up! Combatant! By the center! Quick! March! Take your ass in right! Right! Forward! Forward!
We may please be seated. Shall we please rise once again for the national salute?
Hey! National salute! Present! Up!
We may please be seated.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey! Oh, yeah!
time to follow our departure formalities. The first to take leave of us will be the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, together with a special guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Koforidua, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, escorting the President's vehicle is the Police Mounted Squadron. Established in 1940 with an initial complement of 7 horses, the Police Mounted Squadron's primary role was to provide ceremonial escort for the governor while also engaging in patrols. Presently, under the leadership of Superintendent Mary Claire Agamba, the squadron oversees 24 horses, including 6 young ones. Superintendent Mary Agamba is riding the horse Chief Inspector Dampari, named in recognition of the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufo Dampari, who played a pivotal role in instituting horse riding patrols and other reforms. Superintendent Mary Claire Agamba holds the distinction of being the first female officer to head the Police Mounted Squadron. With a diverse background within the service, she currently serves as the National Operations Headquarters for the Ghana Police Service in Accra. She is supported by the Regimental Sergeant Major Samuel Ajay Okori, who is riding the horse Tokwitsire.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is important we acknowledge the support of various institutions helping us to mark the 67th Independence Anniversary celebrations. From Nestle Ghana Limited to Ghana Link, to all our media stations, the national broadcaster GTV, and all other Next to depart is the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and Second Lady Hajia Baumia. To the people of Koforidua and the Eastern region, we say thank you for making this a very successful anniversary celebrations. Bidding farewell to your son, the President of the Republic of Ghana, as he celebrates his last independence anniversary celebrations as President of the Republic of Ghana. Planning committee members, chaired by Honorable Lord Oblite Komi, we say thank you. The National Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Stephen Intim, thank you for coming. The General Secretary of our party, the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong-Kodia, thank you for coming.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I've been your master of ceremony, and I'm Major Anisowati from the Ghana Armed Forces. Together with me, just for today's parade, has been Madam Cassandra Chum Ampofo and Assistant Superintendent of Police Richmond Mensah from the Ghana Education Service and Ghana Police Service respectively. And with us has been Mr. Jefferson Sahi from the Office of the President.
And it has been an absolute pleasure coming your way. Until we meet again next year, we wish you all traveling blessings.
Next to depart is Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Arabasaki Tokono, the Chief Justice of our Republic, and her spouse. Thank you to all the Supreme Court judges who accompanied the Chief Justice to this all-important program.
All school contingents are once again reminded to move straight to the cultural center, Koforidua Cultural Center, right now.
Chief Justice, thank you for making this program a success with your presence. The Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, Honorable Akosia Frema Osei Opare, Foreign Minister, Honorable Shelley Ayokobodri,
again, a big thank you to all the 11 paramountcies of the Eastern region, led by Nene Sakite II, President of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, for gracing this important occasion with your presence and hosting it beautifully. Next to depart, the Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, after the Chief of Staff departs, our Ministers of State and our revered traditional rulers will also depart. Chief of Staff, thank you for coming.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
the majority leader is next to depart, together with the Minister for Foreign Affairs, the Interior Minister, and our other VVIPs. We want to say a very big thank you the majority leader is about to depart. Foreign Minister, the beautiful Shelly. Thank you very much, Honorable Foreign Minister. God willing, the next Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Inshallah. Honorable Majority Leader, the Alexander Afenyamaki. General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin from Koforidua, is about to depart.
May I have your position? Carry on. Ray! Up there! Up! Back and in!
The new energy.
say a very big thank you to all our traditional rulers. The 11 paramountcies are about to depart, led by Nene Sekite II, President of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs. The local organizing committee for the 67th Independence Anniversary celebration, we say Ayiko to all of you. Next to depart are traditional leaders. Our service commanders are about to take leave of us. Our traditional rulers.
Hey! Woo! Left the right to three! Left the right! Right!
To all our journalists who have covered this anniversary so beautifully, we say a big thank you. To members of the diplomatic corps who traveled all the way from Accra to Koforidua, we say thank you. Our royals, it is time to depart.
Urging them to see if we could come to terms of settlement. When we realized that it wasn't possible, we decided to go the legal route. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Today is 14th day of February.
That is so. That's about 2 days ago. That's correct.
So you filed the suit because you were invited to appear before this committee.
Mr. Chairman, it may look so, but that really wasn't the
That is the fact.
reason.
Not that it looks so. That is the fact.
It may look so, but that wasn't really.
Maybe you are thinking of filing a suit, but this invitation push you further to do it quick.
Since that they gave us were not enough, we decided to go the legal route. So our committee also pushed us to file the suit.
But these financial institutions were part of the financial sector cleanup. And we have a receiver who is in charge of all debts owed by this company. Have you been contacted or have you contacted the receiver? And what is the discussion with the receiver?
Yes, some of the financial institutions and receivership. So for them, we have been very careful in taking any action without any reference to the receiver. But the ones that we have instituted actions against, as far as we know, are not under receivership. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Those institutions that under receivership, at least I know that the receiver paid some amounts, some basic amount to everybody involved in this mess. I can't see yours here. Did you receive any amount?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No,
we were never contacted by the receiver and we haven't received anything from them so far.
Everybody who was under this thing by the receiver, by the bank, by Ministry of Finance, also everybody was contacted. They were asked to go and do validation of their indebtedness. And I know that at least those who were owing less than 50,000 were paid.
Mr.
It was
Chair,
only those that were owing more.
What I can say is we did not receive anything. So
you did not make any effort. That is the point I'm driving at. You did not make any effort. You chased this money. I was also involved in one of these things, and I took the trouble. I went and got at least 50,000. So I'm wondering why, for instance, the 40